I was in New York.
Yeah.
And it was an extraordinary situation. All the troops were lined up, Nasser's troops. We thought we were losing Israel forever. We thought it was really a Goliath story. Nasser was ready to annihilate us.
After just 3 days, Israeli forces routed the Jordanians, reuniting eastern and western Jerusalem, including the Old City and Temple Mount. What do you know about the 6-Day War historically?
Obviously, it's hugely significant for all Jews.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be a seminal event.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 20 years old. I remember well at that time.
Were you? Were you in the military?
Yeah. I was a young lieutenant in Golani Infantry Division in the north, in the Golan Heights.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you fight in the war?
Yeah.
What's your memory of that?
I was even hurt here.
What's that from?
A shell.
A shell?
Yeah.
Yavor Paro, Gamze Navor. We overcame Pharaoh. We'll also overcame whatever this is next to us.
Well, the 6 Days War is like, it's almost like a myth, I think, in the Israeli society of today.
Why?
It was a sign of Israel's strength and ability to defend itself against all odds. It's sort of like Israel's military DNA is almost based on the 6 Days War.
It's a very important war in the history of Israel.
Do people your age appreciate that?
I think so, yeah.
We all know that it's one of the biggest moments in the history of the Jewish state.
You might think such a victory after 2,000 years would leave no room for discussion. But the big win prompted demands that Israel turn over eastern Jerusalem to Palestinians, dividing the city as the potential capital of 2 states. I talked to Israelis and Jewish people in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. What about the possibility of Jerusalem being divided? How do you feel about that?
Never, ever. It will never happen. Because, you know, now after so many years, finally we realize the plan of God.
You believe in God?
Oh, yes. And the plan is to put us in Jerusalem, the Jews, to bring us back to Jerusalem, so we can protect what is so precious to the human race.
Give them half.
Really?
Just give them half, yeah. I think in Tel Aviv you'll find more left-wing people that say, who cares about a piece of ground as long as the blood stops?
It's a shame. Any Israeli is saying such a thing, it must be a shame. Jerusalem is city of David. It's the most important place on earth for the Israelis, for the Jewish. We got it thousands of years ago from God, and it's our only place on earth.
I think we have kind of mixed feelings, because from one side of the story, of course, we're happy that we got Jerusalem, all of Jerusalem, and that people are permitted to go to both parts. But I, from the other side, see the suffer of the Palestinians on the east side of Jerusalem.
I certainly believe that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish people.
According to former President Bill Clinton's Camp David peace accords from the 90s, eastern Jerusalem and the Old City would be divided along ethnic lines. Jewish neighborhoods to Jews, Arab neighborhoods to Arabs.
No way. It's very difficult. If you go to East Jerusalem, you have one Arab neighborhood, one Jewish neighborhood, one Arab. I wish we could all live in peace, but dividing Jerusalem is not a possibility.
Do you think it would bring peace?
I would like to think so, but I really don't think so.
I think some parts of Jerusalem should be for all nations, like the Kotel should be, of course, for the Jews, but I don't think that we need East Jerusalem.
You don't think you need it?
No.
The dividing of Jerusalem is about destroying the state of Israel. Dividing Jerusalem is about pushing us a little further in the direction of the Mediterranean Sea.
Arabs can walk here now all the way to the market freely. Try to go now to the East Jerusalem with the flag, what's going to happen? Well, first of all, the police going to tell me get out because you escalated and you agitated and...
You wouldn't be happy about the city being divided then?
No, definitely not. It has to be unified, but in our way.
And does God enter into the equation?
I think there's no question that Jerusalem is the city of David. God has watched over Jerusalem for millennia. For 3,000 years, this is the most important city in the world.
You pray for the peace of Jerusalem?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
You think that you'll get an answer to that prayer?
I hope so.
Right?
Otherwise, I wouldn't pray.
Scott Ross reporting from Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.